Let's now go across to an exclusive interaction. Sanjeev Bajaj, my colleague, caught up with Sanjeev Bajaj at the sidelines of the CII event. Let's hear out what he told us.
We are in a position now where we are in a situation where, on one hand, where domestic industry is starting to see growth, starting to see new investment come in. CII recently did a survey amongst members for our first quarter, and over 50% expect higher growth in the first quarter, 43% expect higher exports in the first quarter. But yes, people are worried about rising input costs, people are worried about inflation, and we know that a large part of our inflation is because of global uncertainties, whether on the supply chain side, whether because of fuel. So we are in a mixed situation, and we have to see over the coming quarters how inflation moderates. At the same time, we have to balance that with growth.
So, Mr. Bajaj, when we have that ugly R-word recession, which is being tackled by America and the developed markets, inflation, which is red hot, some believe it may have peaked out looking at the commodity prices, barring crude. And now you've got this trade deficit and the rupee in a free fall, flirting with 80 against the dollar. So when we put all of this together, juxtapose it, the macros, you've given me an initial assessment, but is it still okay for corporate India to continue with the capex cycle?
This differs sector by sector. We are seeing more and more sectors reach capacity utilizations of over 75%. Some are even reaching 80%. And there is a lead time, as you know, between ordering and getting new capacity in place. So we are seeing increasingly sectors, whether it is, for example, chemicals, you're seeing construction, logistics, some of the commodities like steel and others, where the new capex cycle has already started. What's also supporting them is that banks and other lending institutions saw a significant amount of cleaning up of their balance sheets, shoring up capital, deleveraging in the last few years. And that's why they're there to support good projects as well. Our situation versus global, I would say, lower growth or recession is very different, because those countries pumped in a significant amount of money because they could through the pandemic, which we didn't. And as a result, if you see our growth, while lower than in previous years prior to the pandemic, is still making us amongst the fastest growing economies in the world. Now, we are in a global village, and as a result, the uncertainties around us do impact us. So I think we're in a situation where there is some amount of uncertainty. Coming quarters will make things clearer. And hopefully a good monsoon should aid with cutting down inflation as well.
Mr. Bajaj, since you brought up banks, we've seen the banks in such a good shape. The operational updates that are also coming in, the credit offtake is being led primarily by the retail loan book as well. That seems to be the indicator point. But the foreign investors continue to sell banking stocks. I know we're not talking about Bajaj Twins, but even they were, flirting with a 52-week low. Why this dichotomy that we're seeing?
So interestingly, if you see for many of those stocks, and if you go back 13 months, we are still higher than where we were at that point of time. So partly this is the result of what happened with excess liquidity through last year. And when you have excess liquidity, investors go and buy into companies that they are more comfortable with and park their funds there. And we are seeing a reversal of that with liquidity getting drawn out of the system. On the other hand, when you look at banking stocks in general, they are much stronger, NPAs much lower than where they were a year ago. So I believe that pricing sometimes, in this case it's external factors again, but otherwise pricing sometimes takes time to catch up with the realities on the ground. So that doesn't worry me.
How worried are you in the industry about the rupee? Because with all the action that's being taken by the US Fed, it looks like the dollar index will only go one way, which is up. That's not good news for rupees. We've not seen the RBI intervene to maybe contain the level of the rupee, maybe just the volatility. What can this mean for industry?
We believe that it's fair to control volatility and let rupee gets to its proper level. That benefits exports in the medium term. It may hurt on imports, but that's the balance that we have to get used to. Volatility is what needs to be taken care of, and RBI is doing that. So as you can see, one of the impacts of that has been that our foreign exchange reserves has fallen from about $640 billion to $590 or so. So RBI is playing a role as required, and beyond that, the currency must find its own level.
What kind of jugalbandi are you expecting from the Reserve Bank of India and the government? Just looking at what the bond yields are indicating, a lot has been said. Will we see any measures from both sides? Will we see that 8% figure?
Well, I wouldn't call it jugalbandi. I wish it was that easy. I think it's a lot more thoughtful. But you will see, or I hope that we will see a balanced set of measures that tries to bring inflation under control with the levers that are available, both, as you can see, from the central bank, but also from the government, the steps that they've already taken. But at the same time, not take rates up so high that it doesn't impact inflation, which is being driven by external factors, but it drops growth. That balance is an important balance, and that's what we hope that they will maintain.
So normalization to pre-COVID levels is what the industry would ideally want when we talk about interest rates.
Yes, yes, I believe that's a given.
Okay, I was wondering if you would expect rates to be higher than pre-COVID.
A lot again will depend on what's driving inflation. So you know, it's quite mathematical to that extent. And I'm not an economist, so I can't delve into those details. But yes, you should see rates get to pre-COVID levels. And let's hope that the larger signal it gives us is that COVID is behind us.
Mr. Bajaj, I can't be talking to you and not ask this one question. The RBI governor has been quite clear about it. They will be coming out with a digital lending framework. Ahead of that, an important clarification that also came out on how certain fintech companies may have been enjoying regulatory arbitrage with prepaid instruments. How are you seeing all of this? Because on one hand, we can't afford to stifle innovation, and that seems to be a fear in the startup world.
You know, it's like the early years of the gold rush. You see a significant amount of innovation, you see new opportunities for wealth creation, and you don't have the regulations in place for that because these are newer ideas, newer initiatives. Regulation needs to monitor these and step in when required to tighten, and I think that's what the RBI is doing right now. But I believe that they are focused on a framework where they don't just blanket rule things out, they monitor a number of these innovations, but where they believe that they are violating the regulatory framework, then they evolve the regulatory framework to contain it. And there's the right balance to see.
We're of course seeing the world in a risk-off mode. The world is getting more and more of the opinion that maybe the US Fed will not increase rates as fast and as much as had been thought. That seems to be the view in the last couple of days, which keeps changing. But the risk-off mode, how do you see that impacting India and also FDI?
Again, short-term to medium-term is very different, let's put it this way. The world is looking for an alternate manufacturing base. India has the capability, the capacity to be able to do that. The government has already started with these PLI schemes. We need to shore up the financial services industry so that it can support the real industry in the coming years. We've reached record exports last year, but that's still a trickle compared to where we need to go. Large-scale manufacturing is something that India needs to focus on and build global champions. We believe, as CI, that the next decade is ours, and a combination of these factors can help us leverage that.
And what did you make of the recent policy moves, whether it was steel export bans, wheat had to be done for food security, of late what has been done for the oil and gas sector as well, the additional tax that has come in, disincentive to export too?
We have to look at all this within the parameters of controlling inflation, the government controlling its deficit, it putting its money to work in the best possible manner. And I think once we are beyond that, we will start seeing normalization as the government has talked about as well.
So when I come to the end of this interview, Mr. Bajaj, with the macros which are looking bad, a day after what we saw as far as the current account deficit, the trade deficit goes, you've told me a little bit about the survey, but when you speak to your friends in industry, when you speak to your peers, you speak to fellow industrialists, what is the sense you're getting? Will they continue to step on the gas when it comes to the capex cycle? We had started to see turnaround. It's going to be important. Green shoots is going to impact the job market as well, disposable income, all of that.
From what I'm hearing, that in a thoughtful manner, people are either getting ready or they are starting to invest in the capex cycle. They are watchful. If we see trends get negative, naturally they will hold back. It's only practical. Eventually, private business needs to earn a certain minimum return on the capital it employs. But at this time, there is a significant amount of hope that the external situation will come under control so that, as I said, most industry is reaching a level of capacity utilization where they need to reinvest. they are able to get that capital now from lending institutions. So they're at that stage where if we can get inflation under control and if we can hopefully see the external uncertainties start to moderate, you could see the start of a very significant capex cycle.